Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Rahil Remote Job Wali and I'm delighted to be your host today and I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. We have a distinguished guest who has made a significant contributions to the field of career well-being coaching. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Christer Edman. Today we have the privilege of delving into Mr. Edman's life journey filled with diverse experiences, career achievements, and dedication to helping individuals achieve their career while being goals. So, without further ado, let's dive into right into our conversation and learn more about his inspiring journey. So, welcome, sir. How are you?
Thanks a lot. First of all, I'm honored to be invited to this and thank you for this opportunity. And I am fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, sir. Please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Yeah, I take a short version. I'm 64 years of age. I'm retired. I'm running a coach business and I have started up recently a non-profit organization. And it is for abused, it's for addicted and ex-criminals like defectors and also for people who are abused in different ways and they are in some way outside of the society and we are a complement to organizations and the social health system in Sweden, the social care system, which we have noticed is not working so well. I noticed this when I was working in prisons and when they should be released, where do they go after their prison and their penalty? And I've been working 1 year with at the support living with people as a night during the night shift. So I have seen a lot of the backside when you're, for example, taking drugs, when you're drinking alcohol, and when you're involved in criminality. So I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do for those people who are not getting the chance to reaching out and doing the best of their situation? I have a background also working within the IT at IBM as a project manager and team leader for 7 years. I was a business partner during 3 years, 4 years to IBM as well. I worked at Ericsson Telecom Company as a business developer and within the IT there as well. So I have experience from working digitally. So for me, it's a lot about the communication and how we can support each other. And the time with the people was actually depending on my background and my family situation, because my wife, I was married 19 years and my wife passed away. Now it's 21, almost 22 years ago. And I was alone with two daughters, 9 and 11. And I had financially good and everything, but it was something missing and I was stupid. I made the wrong decision at that time. I went into a relationship for 11 years, and that is something I should have thought before I did. It ended up with that I lost everything. I was like, I am a person who gives away. I wanted to help people. I wanted to get the positive feedback myself, being recognized, getting the confirmation from others. And when I was laying on the bottom, there were nobody there. I had to take myself up. I was homeless, jobless. And it was one day I realized I have to do something. And I was advised to take contact with a job coach at the employment services. And that was the start because the person said, with your experience, why don't you search for a job as a coach? And it was like something new started and I was feeling this is my opportunity to do something different because I have the experience. I can do something for others. And the first job I got After that was at the prison in 2015. It's 8 years since then now. And I came to a class 1 prison, and that is a prison for the most dangerous criminals in that prison. So I was just walking in there, and people asked, how can you do that? How do you have the courage to do that? I said, I have nothing to lose. I lost my wife, my children, I lost them as well because I was running after the new woman, so to say. I didn't stay, take care of my children, my daughters. I was like a little boy, and I realized that boy need to grow up, and that boy can talk to the inmates. I could talk to the inmates because I had my own experience, which brought me down to the bottom. They were at the bottom in a prison. So we were in some way in the similar situation. But I had a dad, he was a police. He was a cop for over 30 years. So he was my role model, so to say. He was always disciplined. He was saying, you have to do this and work work hard and help people and so on. So it helped me a lot. And yeah, I can stop here because this, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your introduction. Your introduction is very inspiring. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is that what inspired you to become a career well-being coach?
A good question. The reason and what inspired me was when I was working as a safety officer at the company, and when I was also caring about the workers because I was interested in negotiations. I have been working as a purchaser, and I know how to take care of others, so to say. So that suited me very well. I was good in purchasing. I could communicate well. I could get good agreements, contracts, and so on. So everything worked well there. And when I was working at IBM, it was layoffs because India came in. People from India came to Sweden and they took over the job. So it was about knowledge transfer. And I worked as a project manager for a project I knew should be laid down as well as soon as the knowledge transfer was finished. I could accept the change, but my colleagues, Swedish colleagues, they had really hard to accept the situation and they had hard to continue to work. And I was thinking we need to find something so they will be inspired and can see something new. I talked about projects. I talked about you have the language knowledge, you need to translate, you need to interact and see the opportunities. You can stop, maintain, and you can now go into the project management part with the new projects which are coming. So some listened and changed, and that was inspiring to see when people are listening instead of just feeling depressed and go home. And it was even a fight one time between two people, and I was thinking, what is going on here? Are they fighting about the job physically as well at the working place? We are just here for do a work together. And as a project manager, team leader, it was natural for me to search for solutions. That inspired me. And later on, I was actually laid off when I was going to work with innovation projects. I got a new job role, but then it was management problems with the inter what you say when you transfer the money internally within a company. One manager is saying, I want him, and the other say, no, he's one who should be laid off, and we have offered him this kind of money so he can leave the company, and we want to get younger workers. And I was like, okay, I don't care about you. I have my own business since 87. Now it's time for me to step up and do what I love to do. So I got a new project on my own in a rural area where I was a community coach, and later on I become the project manager for that rural area project. And it was really funny to work with the people because it was a layoff at the paper mill, and I could go in there and coach people. I was interacting with the elderly, with the retired, and so they could use social media, because I started to use 30 years ago with social media, with trumpet, windsock, all the old technologies, and I kept on working. So I set up a solution for people so they could collaborate. And I notice when I talk to people and start up projects, people get interested. So that inspired me to become a professional coach, continue then with the prisons and so on, and then get the certification as an international coach federation from that organization. So I am professional coach certified PCC level. So it's a profession which I really love to do.
Okay, all right, that's great. Thank you so much for your answer. So, my next question is, can you briefly describe your role as the ICAF representative for Sweden?
That's interesting. That is the International Child Art Foundation, for you who are seeing this, ICAF. I was contacted in 2000, late 2010. I just quit IBM. I started up this community coach project. And the founder of this organization was Ashfaq Ishak. And he was working earlier at the bank, and he got tired. He wanted to inspire the youth people to use their creativity, their leadership, and take care of, I think it was environment as well. It was three topics he was interested in. And I was thinking, what shall I do? Because he invited me to hold an event on the festival, World Children's Festival, which was held in 2011 in Washington, D.C. And I was curious, so I said, can we set up a Skype meeting and talk to each other and see? So I asked him, why did you invite me to this? Then he said, I see that you are creative. You are also using IT. So the combination between those two was interesting, he said. That is a possibility. So then he asked me, what do you want to do for kind of event on this World Children's Festival? It will be during 3 days. And I said, I want to bring some of the students with me from a school, because I'm a mentor at the school here. And then he said, okay, bring the students to Washington, D.C. And then I was like, okay, now I have said too much. Now I have to fix this also. So since I was a community manager, I went to the bank. I asked the bank for money, because the bank, it was a project. So I got money for this project, so we could actually bring 4 students to Washington, D.C. and two teachers and 2 other people. So we could go to Washington, D.C., participate on the World Children's Festival. I arranged a solution called Grouply before Facebook and everything came. It's a solution where students in 3 schools could interact. One in Kista, Husby, where they have very high kind of criminality and very big problems for the children there. And 2 schools in Hallstavik. So they interacted on that platform called Grouply, and they created videos, photos. One of the employees at the factory educated them in how to take photos, and they put it up, all of those things in that platform. And then I collected more money. So we got the money for the travel, and we stayed in 2 homes, 2 families for the USA Coastal Guard families. So they hosted us there. And it was so good because the students could show what their classmates had created in their photo sessions. So they put it up, and they were only inspired to encourage each other from each school, so they could bring out the best and support each other. On the last day, they were invited from the school in Husby up to Hallstavik. So the principal came with 4 students from that school in Husby, and we had 4 students from the Hallstavik schools, and they got Obama's Peace Prize for voluntary organizations and people. So I handed over that on the Hallstavik's day when they were there. So it was really nice, and we got also the recognition for the work we are doing. And after that travel, since I was invited by Ashfaq Ishak at this organization, ICF, he said, now you're Sweden's representative for this organization in Sweden.
All right, wonderful answer. Thank you so much, sir, for explaining. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is: given your experience, what are the key advantages and remote work for both employees and employers?
I should say, first of all, it's about space. Second, it's about the travel. You don't have to travel. You can do it. And it's also very good because you don't have to be affected by what you are seeing, so to say. You can go and be very clear with the purpose with the meeting. It's demanding as well because you need to prepare well, make sure the people are the right people, and that you have a good agenda, and presented if there are new people who are meeting each other for the first time, for example, and you have a purpose, then you must be very clear what the purpose is with the meeting before it starts. So they are not coming to the meeting with different expectations.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question is: could you share some strategies for effective remote team collaboration and communication?
Yeah. For the first, you need to have an environment. You must be ready before, prepared. The connection must be 100%. You can't have any kind of interruptions. And all of the people who are attending those remote team meetings must know what the rules are on the meeting, so they are not expecting something else. The agenda must also be presented before the meeting. We talk about, I don't know, flipped classroom, like you only talk about what is necessary, which could not be provided before the meeting. I have been on so many meetings. There are people, what I'm doing here, okay, I was invited to this, and they are picking with other things, or they are not interested. And that is so disturbing when you're online, for example. So you must be very clear, and you have a camera here. You can see the eyes if the person is following you, if the person is listening actively to what you are saying and interested in the topic, if they had the competence for participating in that team, in that meeting. So the team, the people, and it is the project manager's role to prepare before the meeting. That is my experience. If I was not prepared for the meeting, it was always someone else. And you must know about how different people are. Some are extroverts, some are very easy. They talk, 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 talk. They take over the meeting, and people are going from the meeting and say, why did we have the meeting? Or you have the introvert, which might have a lot of knowledge, but they don't make their voice heard. So that is the organizer, the moderator must make sure you have got 5 minutes now, and now it's your turn. And never judge people when they are talking on the meeting. If a person come up with ideas during the meeting for solutions or something they are thinking about, listen, support that person, give that person full energy and support what that person has to say. Otherwise, you are delaying the meeting and people are not listening. And this is often, I should say, the leader of the meeting, the moderator, could be a good solution to bring in a moderator who is neutral on the meeting. Otherwise, you have the hierarchy within the organization. That's very common when one person only talk and the other one, okay, now he or she has said the right things. Now I can nod and say, yeah, I agree. And everybody is like that. You need to have the critical thinking awareness, because if you have that, then you can also come up with new thinking, new ideas, now new solutions, and ask if someone is saying something and they are laughing. If you laugh at the person, they will never say anything. Stop the laugh and go back to that person. What was you thinking? You might be into something. So encourage, inspire the person to make their voices heard and make equal time for each one. Sometimes there is a person, no, I don't have anything to add, but thanks for giving me the opportunity to give my opinion into this topic.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Next question is
Sorry, it's too dogs.
okay. How do you balance smart?
Sorry, I will go and take the dogs. So down, okay, down, lay down. Sorry, I had to interrupt. The dogs
No
was
problem.
they were barking. So
So,
I'm
my
how do I balance
question is
remote
that
work?
can I ask?
Yes.
Okay. How do you balance remote work with your coaching practice?
I should say the remote work is the first and most important to plan well. I must be, it's if I, for example, when I'm coaching, I am the one who are leading the meeting. Then I need to make sure that I have prepared the environment so everything is working when the meeting is starting. The situation with the dogs now was their coming person. I didn't know about this interview series. It started very, I should say, just now. Are you here? Okay, I can do it. So that is something I learned now. Next time, I will make sure. I don't know where I shall. I will bind them up in a place in the kitchen, for example, but they bark anyway. So that could be a solution. So always use lessons learned from what you are going through, so you are improving and doing better. That's a part of the coaching mindset. So I have to think about what can I do so I am not interrupted. And for example, if this is a meeting, I pay 100% to the meeting and the respect for you as a host for this meeting, then I want to be fully in charge of myself and not be disturbed by two dogs. But I promised my daughter to take care of them during this weekend.
Okay, all right. So, my last question is, what key advice would you give to someone looking to improve their career well-being?
Uh, I see this contain two things actually, but they can be. One thing is the well-being, which it can be well-being without the career, so to say. But if you connect it to a career well-being, it's so important that you get to know yourself, that you know your values, that you know your goals in life related to the career. How long career? What kind of job are you interested in? Are you have an entrepreneurial mindset? Do you want to work, be an employee? Which companies? What kind of branch? What kind of tasks, job role do you like to have? You need to prepare yourself very well before. And the well-being is how do you take care of yourself so you're not identify yourself as the job role, because you need to identify yourself as the person you are. A job is a job. Your human being is related directly and shall be directed to the well-being. Not lose yourself. A job comes, job goes. I know people who are feeling ashamed if they lose their jobs. I've lost my job 3 times. I'm always thinking, okay, what is it now for interesting I can do with my time? I get some time now. Do I want to study? Do I want to start with this or that? So my retirement when I was 62 years, 2 years ago, I retired. It has been planned since I was 25 something. I told my wife, we talked and we said, we will make sure so we will have the possibility to retire and travel when we are getting a little bit older. And we shall do it while we are healthy, while we are still healthy and can do the travel. And that is something I've been thinking about. But now I'm also thinking about, with the experience I have got, how can I help other people? So that is something which is related to my well-being. If I was sitting here myself, not interacting with you right now and the audience who can hear this, I would not feel so good. Now I feel really good because you are curious about what do I do? How do I manage life? What kind of coach I am? How can people start up and be their best themselves? That is what I think is so important.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your advice, and thank you so much for your valuable time and sharing your valuable insight with us today. Your expertise as a career well-being coach and your in-depth knowledge of remote work have provided us with valuable information and advice. To our audience, I hope you found this interview informative and helpful. Remember, career well-being is a crucial aspect of our life, and Mr. Armans has offered some valuable advice on how it improve it. So, and finally, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel and my and also my follow my pages and my profiles. So stay updated with more engaging conversation. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you so much, sir, for sharing your precious time. So take care and keep working towards and fulfilling career and life. Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you for the interview. Bye bye.
Bye.